It's wonderful that we have Christoph Ploß here. He is the federal government coordinator for maritime economy and tourism at the Federal Ministry for Economics and Tourism. And we have seen this with great pleasure because he tabled a national strategy for the tourism industry, and they explicitly strengthen accessibility in tourism. What that means is something that he's definitely going to focus on now, and we very much look forward to your presentation, Dr. Ploß.
Sehr geehrter Herr Nowak, meine
Mr. Nowak,
sehr geehrten Damen und Herren,
ladies and gentlemen, first of all, thank you very much for the invitation and for the nice introduction. I can tell you that the ITB is a battle time. I mean, I have enough appointments, I have enough inquiries, but it is a very intensive phase. We got hundreds of inquiries, and it was very important for me to attend this conference today. And I also wanted to briefly introduce myself because with Mr. Nowak and the entire team, the tourism workshop, we have had great exchange already. That said, it is very important for me to be here today and to share a few topics of the National Tourism Strategy with you. And I would also like to talk about the significance of inclusion and social participation. Please bear with me. I have to leave after my presentation because I have another appointment. My calendar is very dense. Hence, I can't really stay here for the rest of the conference. You have heard this already. Inclusion, social participation, the integration of people with disabilities. This is not something that serves a niche. This is not a niche or marginal issue. Unfortunately, you often hear this. But from our perspective, and I'm not just talking for myself, I'm talking on behalf of the entire federal government, including the ministry, it is wrong. That said, in terms of the National Tourism Strategy, we are highlighting the significance of accessibility and inclusion. Because unfortunately, we still see, if you use local public transport, when you want to enter a train, when you drive through a city, whether you have to take a plane at the airport, all these things involve barriers. And there's a lot of room for improvement, a lot of work that still needs to be done. And not every train station is accessible yet. I mean, they are always, or they are being refurbished and improved, but many people in their everyday lives still see that there is no lift. They get stuck somewhere because they can't go further. There are only stairs, etc. And that, of course, in their everyday lives means that they can't travel. They can't be mobile, and they're always confronted with barriers. Hence, we in the National Tourism Strategy do not just say that we have to improve Germany's infrastructure as a whole. You can read the details. We want to invest more in rails. We want to invest more in highways. We want to invest more in waterways. In short, the entire infrastructure should be refurbished. Not only do we want to do that, but we also want to make our infrastructure accessible. We want to make sure that those who are limited in their mobility will be able to take trains, will be able to drive their cars or get on a plane smoothly, as it is appropriate and should be the standard in 2026. So I can promise you one thing. We did not just write this into the strategy to make it look good. We wrote it down because we want to express that during this legislative term, we have put a lot on our agenda in terms of accessibility. And I'm sure that if we meet at the end of this legislative term, you will say that quite a few improvements have been achieved. Mr. Nowak, I am your contact. I'm always happy to get together with you. This should not be our last meeting, but one of the first ones during this legislative term. Of course, we will have to improve things again and again. We have to check where there are issues. So I'm offering here and now that we have further meetings and visits in the future to improve the situation in Germany. There's another aspect that is very close to my heart. I often hear people say, this is important for social reasons, that we do something for people with disabilities. People whose mobility is limited have to be supported and helped. Of course, this is a good mindset because you want to integrate everybody, you want to make social participation possible for everybody. It's great that things have changed in society, but we are not talking about a niche here. We are not talking about a group of just a few people. We are also from the tourism industry, we are talking about an increasing market. And from the tourism industry, we are talking about a group that for economic reasons alone, you should take care of. And I'm saying this always at my meetings. I mean, there are different estimates that say there are between 8 to 10 million people in Germany whose mobility is limited or who have a disability, who have issues traveling, getting from A to B. People who are always confronted with hurdles and barriers. That said, we are talking about a very relevant and big group in Germany. So I would like to appeal to the tourism industry. Please focus much more on this group, on these people, because economically speaking, there is a huge economic factor behind this. It makes a difference for every travel agency in Germany. I'm the tourism coordinator of the federal government. Logically, I don't run a tourism business, but if I ran an agency, I would say I focus on this group because there is a lot of potential that can be tapped. Many potential travelers that could eventually visit my restaurant or my hotel. I would like to mention something else, a point that is very close to our heart, and I know that Eka Sterz of the Economics Ministry is also here. She, for many years, has been passionately fighting for this, that is Travel for All. Travel for All is a license or certificate, you know it. And this certificate is there to make sure that a patchwork in Germany belongs and will belong to the past. Logically, I mean, if you travel from the north of Germany to Thuringia, that is to the center of Germany, or from Thuringia to the south, that you always need local certificates. I have to deal with local certificates and rules. So Travel for All is a huge achievement which should simplify everybody's travel, which should make sure that eventually you will not have to worry about what are the rules, what are the licenses and the certificates and conditions. Against this backdrop, I can promise that we will not just stick to Travel for All. No, we will improve and strengthen the Travel for All certificate during our legislative term. So we revised the website with federal funds, also in close coordination with you, Mr. Nowak, and the tourism workshop. And in the next weeks and months, you will see further improvements. We will use AI, we will use updates, we will update the website, we will simplify procedures. And I would like to invite you to provide us with your feedback, because we depend on your feedback. You should tell us this works fine. I mean, we are also happy to hear praise. We get very many critical mails, so it is also nice if our staff gets appreciated. But please also let us know where there's still room for improvement, because our ultimate target is to make or to optimize the Travel for All certificate, focus more on persons with disabilities, so that all procedures will simplify, and we will also digitize them, of course. We need your feedback for this, and we will continue to support this entire process. I see the strict views of the moderator because we are running out of time, so let me come to a close. Participation of people with disabilities, of people whose mobility is limited, is not something that should be close to our society's heart, is not just something that we should do for social reasons, but this is also a group that is of huge economic significance. this group supports and strengthens the tourism industry, and it will ultimately result in the tourism industry to grow, and we have seen this, fortunately, in the last years. And that said, we will strengthen and improve the infrastructure, focus more on the needs of people with disabilities. We will improve accessibility, and we will also make sure that the travel for all certificates, all the procedures that you need to travel will be improved by us. Hence, I'm very much looking forward to the future. Let us use the ITB to discuss these issues. The team of the Economics Ministry that is represented here in the first row with Ms. Rumpf, Ms. Kolbe and Ms. Wehrmann. So you have the top-notch people here of the tourism departments of the ministry, and they're also interested in your feedback. With our visit, despite hundreds of other inquiries, we would like to highlight and show how important you are for us and how important the topics and issues are that will be discussed here at this conference. I look forward to the future. I wish you a very fruitful and productive conference and a nice and fruitful ITB. Thank you very much.